What's going on, guys, and welcome back to your daily news report. So here's what's going on right now, and these are some scary things that are happening. First, we're going to talk about what is going on with inflation. Is it going to go up or down in just 2 days? I want to address this because there's some good news, but there's also some bad news. We're also going to touch on the major food shortages, and I want to explain what's going on there. Talk about the price increases as well, because again, there's some scary things going on there. But I also want to touch on President Biden's only move. Some are saying President Biden has one move to fight inflation, and that is something that we are potentially going to see this week. So keep in mind, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of back and forth within Congress, but President Biden has one move up his sleeve, and some are saying this would be detrimental to the growth of our economy. So make sure you stick around for this entire video because I'm going to get right down to what is going on. But first, I ask one thing every single video. Take 2 seconds, go ahead, hit that like button, and also make sure you click that subscribe button so you never miss an update. Now let's get to the update. Here's what we know. Congress has a plan to help the American people. However, their plan all starts with Ukraine. Now, I'm all for helping out another country when they need it. However, I'm all for helping out the American people as well because, well, it's our tax dollars that are going to this other country. Okay? Here's the problem. Right now, Congress is so focused on Ukraine, and I completely understand, but the issue is they're not focused on what's happening here within our borders. Their plan is to help fight inflation by sending money to Ukraine. Okay? That's their ultimate fix. They say that if they help fight Russia, give Ukraine additional money, right? Not jump into the war. This will ultimately fix our issues. Now, I don't want to get too much into what Congress's plan is because honestly, their plans normally don't go over like they originally want. So who knows what's going to happen here. However, I do want to talk about their next big move. And the thing that's happening is, and something that just was released today, President Biden originally asked for $33 billion to go to Ukraine. Now, Congress decided, let's increase that to $39.8 billion in additional funding to Ukraine. Now, the House could vote on this as early as tomorrow. But here's why it got held up today. What I can tell you, and again, these are simple little, these are not simple, but these are these issues that are arising. They're coming up because people are asking the questions. This is not something that Democrats want. But the holdup today was this. Republicans didn't want to see $10 billion in COVID funding included into this bill. That's exactly what was going to happen. They're going to take $39.8 billion, combine that with $10 billion of COVID funding, put them together, and then ask for Republicans to vote on that. That was the issue. So, essentially, what happened is Republicans said, no, we will not vote on that. We are not going to help you pass that bill, that you need to split those apart. So that's what's going to happen. And that could potentially lead us to a vote tomorrow. But that's the reason why votes didn't happen today. Now, here's some other big news. In just 2 days, we're going to have our new CPI report released. Economists are already predicting that we are going to be at 8.1%. That is year over year. However, they're also saying month over month, we're only going to be up an additional 0.2%. That's what's putting us at 8.1%. However, some CEOs question this prediction, being that wholesale rates have doubled. They've doubled. Now, this is only leading to consumer prices going up. However, consumer prices go up after wholesale prices go up, right? It lags. And that's the problem that we're having. And right now, nobody knows which direction the economy is headed. And that makes it very difficult to plan for our future. Not only for the American people, not only for businesses, but for lawmakers as well. Nobody knows how to plan. Here's something we do know. Today, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, she actually released her plans as to what she's going to tell the Senate Banking Committee tomorrow when she has her meeting. Well, her plan is to tell the Senate Banking Committee to be ready for continuing market fluctuations. And in her testimony that was actually posted today, it reads this. Let me read this to you. And I quote, "There is the potential for continued volatility and unevenness of global growth as countries continue to grapple with the pandemic. Russia's unprovoked invasion of Ukraine has further increased economic uncertainty." That's what she's going to tell the Senate Banking Committee. Now, the reason why this is troubling is because many Americans, they are trying to figure out, how do they move forward? How does how does Russia's invasion into Ukraine, how does this hurt us? Why does it give us so much economic uncertainty? Well, here's again what we do know. Many Americans can't rely on their net worth anymore because they've been using their stock portfolios, crypto, even real estate equity to live off of for the past 2 years. Now, yes, some stimulus funding helped. It gave many Americans a little bit of a boost, but not everybody received it. And those that did receive it, in most cases, it went out as quickly as it came in. That's the issue. It wasn't saved. Now, with inflation sitting at 8.5%, many are hurting to just make it through. Many are hurting more now than during the height of the pandemic because prices are so high. Yes, their job is back, they're working, but at the same time, inflation is so high that they cannot afford to buy the things that they were buying before because their job doesn't cover it. But what is President Biden's plan? Well, the Biden administration does have a plan. They've had this plan for a little while, but some people push back on this. Their plan to help lower inflation for the American people, well, this is very tricky. But right now, there's not much the Biden administration can do, but their plan, and this is tough to say because they only got one plan, and that is to potentially lower tariffs against China. That's it. Pretty much undo the changes that former President Donald Trump made. Now, this is going to help prices of Chinese goods. This is going to make it more affordable for the American people. But the problem is millions of people in China are currently on a lockdown. So this isn't going to be an overnight fix. It's going to take a little bit of time. Then we have the issue of rising gas and diesel prices. That's potentially just going to pretty much outweigh the reduction of tariffs. Okay? And then the other issue is lowering tariffs against China will also mean that the American-made products, they're going to look like they're not going to be as attractive due to the fact that their prices aren't going to go down. Only Chinese-made goods are going to be less expensive. And then all of this, if this does happen, this actually puts the United States back to being more reliant on China for stability now, but also for growth later on. Again, major issues. This is what even Senator Joe Manchin said, that we cannot be reliant on another country, specifically China. China, who's one that is potentially one to back Russia. We cannot be reliant, especially 100% reliant on some of our goods just on China. We have to manufacture here in the United States. And that was one of the big pushes from former President Donald Trump and the Trump administration was, if we raise the tariffs, what's going to happen is this is going to cause China to have to raise their prices, right? This is going to mean that Chinese goods aren't going to come into the United States, at record rates, right? Record pace. But it means the American-made products are probably going to have a little bit of a leg up, which they did. Now, we might not. So we'll see. And while we're talking about stability, let's also address the rising food crisis. Because here's what we know. We're currently seeing a shortage, as well as a food price crisis. Certain foods like there's wheat, corn, sunflower oil, palm oil, eggs, chicken, beef, even water is in short supply. And then you take into account the supply and demand principle. You consider this. And this is what's pushing prices up higher and higher every single month. Because if we see an additional shortage of wheat, guess what? Anything that requires wheat will cost more money. If we see chicken is in short supply, and lately with the bird flu, over 37 million chickens or poultry being killed off, right? That's an issue. That causes a shortage. And granted, the shortage isn't huge. It's not like 50%. I think it's like 6% of our crop. But again, that's a shortage. That's causing a big shortage. So these are all things that are happening. I think a lot of people are still wondering, what do they do? How do they plan for this? The one thing that I can tell you is, if you understand what's going on now, okay, take the blinders off. Because if you watch mainstream media, now, yes, they have some good information here and there, but if you just watch CNN or Fox News or whatever, and again, don't just watch me, go watch other YouTube channels as well, but take the blinders off and see the whole picture. Because what's happening is you're not being told everything. That's the issue. So as long as you understand what's happening, you consume all this information, you can make the best decision for you and your family, and only you can do that. All right? So that's what we know at this time. As always, as I know more, I promise I'll come back on and share all latest news and updates again. Just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your Monday. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.